Hey everybody, Mike Steele here with BBQ Champs Academy, and man, we have got a great show lined up for you tonight. We got the 2020 SCA World Champion, Miss Marissa Ouverson, with us tonight. It is going to be a fantastic show. We just got through releasing her class on Sunday, and I tell you what, I think everybody is going to absolutely love this class. We're definitely going to dive in deep and talk a little bit about that, quite a bit about that, because there's a lot of important details that was learned in that class as far as Mike Steele is concerned, and we're certainly going to talk a little bit about that. But as everybody comes on, we certainly do appreciate you being here. We got Brandon already coming on. Mr. Rick's with us tonight. We appreciate you. Rick, thanks for being here. Papa Joe Grilling Supply, Hutto, Texas. We certainly do appreciate you being a sponsor or partner with BBQ Champs. Thank you so much for doing that. We got Scott from Cleveland. Scott's always great to see you. I think if I recall, your daughter looked like she had tried out for cheerleading or so, and I believe that was the post that I had seen that. I've seen a lot of posts this weekend, so if the boys start giving her a problem, you let me know. I dig pools, and we can take care of any issues that may arise. So good evening, Mike from wet Wisconsin. Yes, John, it has been raining and wet down here as well. My gosh, it seems like every day for the last week we've had rain in Louisiana, and I'm sick of it. I need it to dry out. So, Chad, we certainly appreciate you being here. Kevin, thank you for being here from Chicago. Looky here, Mr. Matt. Yes, your sis is going to be on here tonight. So glad to have you with us here tonight, Matt. Appreciate it. Caitlin, thank you for being with us. You're always here. Carly, thank you for being here. Appreciate everybody always showing up. Mr. Jason, thank you for coming. We got Mr. Terry Roan. Appreciate you, Terry, being here. And it's going to be a great show tonight. Craig, appreciate you with us tonight. Give all you guys a shout out. Let's see. Love it. My best friend owns a funeral home. We've got it covered. Amen, brother. So, Rory, appreciate you being here tonight. We got folks just steadily coming in, and I'm really looking forward to this show. I had an absolute amazing time filming Marissa's class. Very, very detailed. We'll go into that here in just a minute as folks continue to come in. And had a lot of fun and been working really hard to try to get that class out. It was just a lot of videos. It's one of the longest classes that we had. I think her videos totaled right at 4 hours, and it was a really, really detailed class, both in the steak, and she did some amazing Mexican sweet corn chicken street tacos. Yeah, there we go. It's a long name, but oh my gosh, were they absolutely phenomenal. And we'll talk a little bit about that here in a minute. DJ, appreciate you being with us. And there's our buddy, Richard. Buddy, thank you for being here. And I appreciate the likes on the show. Appreciate it. I do want to say, and Chris is with us as well. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate you being here as well. You know, last night, the Arcasippy Smoke Live show, John and Ronald Burns had to cancel that. John's mom took a fall here last week, and he's been dealing with that. I think he was up in the hospital yesterday, have to have some surgery and stuff done. But he has got a big show lined up for tomorrow, and they're going to be on a Wednesday instead of their normal Monday. They'll be on Wednesday. The pre-show will be at 7:15, Arcasippy Smoke Live, and their regular show will air at 7:30. So I wanted to make sure that everybody knew that, be looking for it. And then he'll be back on his regular schedule next Monday. He said, I just didn't want to be on top of your show on Tuesday night and me as well. So he went on ahead and moved his to Wednesday. So be looking for that. It's going to be a great show. I think he told me he's got something pretty special lined up. So make sure everybody's going to be able to watch that. Alan, appreciate you being here as well. Always want to give a shout out to our partners. Couldn't do this without them. Be Extreme, Mr. Danny Helms. Appreciate all your support, everything that you do. You and Terry's got some absolutely amazing product. Mr. Ed Riley with B&B Charcoal, absolutely love their stuff. I know they're working through the demand issues, but give them some time. Hopefully they're going to get all that worked out. My good buddy Brian Crawford at Lone Star Barbecue Pro Shop and his Crawford Barbecue Pit products, absolutely amazing rubs as well, and appreciate his support. Papa Joe Grilling Supplies in Hutto, Texas. Appreciate Chuck and Vanessa dearly. They've got almost every single rub that we use in all of our classes as well. And I'm pretty sure they're going to have every single rub that Marissa uses in her class. So if you're looking for a place to get them, definitely check first Papa Joe Grilling Supplies in Hutto, Texas. Also, Mr. David at Gunnar Wilhelm, absolutely unbelievable sharp knives. I mean, wicked sharp is their motto, and I guarantee you it's one of the sharpest knives that I've ever used. If you're looking for a good sharp knife, check out the Gunnar Wilhelm brand. Tapacue had Gina on here a few weeks ago. She's working on a new dual sensor probe for the SCA. I think it's going to be a game changer and really help things. I'll be checking with her in the next week or so to see how that's coming. And I think she's going to have a few folks test that for her, do a little beta testing to see if it's exactly what they need. Also, Dustin at the barbecue store, appreciate him, and Kale with the Barbecue News magazine. Dustin's got a bunch of products and carries almost every single rub and stuff that we carry in our Barbecue Champ classes. So I really appreciate all of y'all helping us and supporting us in all the ways that you do. We got Mark on here. Appreciate Mark, you being here. Got Raz on here. Yep, it's going to be fun talking to the world champ, and looking forward to bringing her in here in just a second. So let's see, Rich, I'll be painting cups next week. Your cup is in the lineup, sir. Man, I tell you what, I can't wait to see that Barbecue Champ logo on a cup. I can't wait. Thank you, Richard, for doing that. Yeah, quality matters. That's exactly right. Well, looks like we got quite a few folks on here. Got 47 already on. We're going to go ahead and bring in the champ. And if anybody has any questions while we're doing this show, as always, feel free to comment, and we will certainly try to answer everybody's question. But now, let's bring in the 2020 SCA World Champion, the name that I gave her a long time in the running at the very beginning when she was tearing it up on the trail, Miss Consistent. And there she is right there, Miss Consistent Griller, Miss Marissa Ouverson. Marissa, so glad to have you here in the house.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you for having me on.
Well, I certainly appreciate it. I tell you what, girl, I think a lot of folks was wondering, was we going to have that class? I kept seeing it pop up. Is Marissa going to be on? Is Marissa going to be on? And we just kind of played it low key and like, I don't really know if we're going to get Marissa on here or not. So, but it was definitely fun. We literally got her on here probably, 2 or 3 weeks after the World. I think we got you in. It was not very long after.
No, it was probably 2 weeks.
It was 2 or 3 weeks. So, but it's just, if you just understood what it takes to go through to produce and edit these videos, and it just takes a while. And I've been extremely busy bouncing between competition for 5 straight weeks and stuff like that. That definitely was kind of making it harder to get everything done. But when they were all done and they were sent to me, and I've got an amazing crew at Fairfield Studio for putting these videos together, they were lights out to me. So I think you did a phenomenal, phenomenal job.
Thank you.
Got a lot of folks congratulating you, and certainly glad that you are on our show. You are a very humble girl, and I think there's a lot of people that are very proud of what you have done. You had quite the run in 2020 and rolled off into 2021. First female to ever win the SCA World Champion. The biggest thing that I noticed was this: 27 top 10 finishes in your first 10 months of cooking. And, I never got a chance to meet you, but every time I saw you post, you was top 10, top 10, top 10. And after about 5 or 6 of those, that's when I just started calling you Miss Consistent, does it again, and Miss Consistent does it again. And next thing you know, and I was like, what's your team name? Miss Consistent Grillers. And I was like, hey, I think that's a pretty fitting name, because you was just very, very consistent. No matter where you cooked, you just always seemed to have things dialed in. And after filming your class, while filming your class, I started to realize why you was doing so good. So I'm going to just steal the thunder for just a second, and then we're going to turn this over to you. But I've got to say this, because this to me is what I picked up. it was by far one of the most detailed classes I think that we have shot on BBQ Champs. Your attention to detail in everything that you did and explaining how you was able to go in and be the consistent cook you was, whether if you cooked from Iowa to down in South Texas, Arkansas, it did not matter. And I was just like, how did you do that? And you literally talked about it in the class of what you did. And I'm not going to go saying anything right now. It's in the class, right? But it was the detail and the note keeping and stuff like that that I think really compelled you to do as consistent as you did. And your attention to detail and the notes that you took and analyzing when you cooked up north and when you cooked down south, wherever you cooked. And just to let everybody know, Marissa's actually given you 2 recipes. It's not just one. And Marissa, I want you to tell everybody real quick about your 2 recipes of what you called them in the class.
Yes, so I have like a northern and a southern. I just noticed my appearance scores weren't great if I went north and south with one recipe, so I changed up a little bit, got a color that I really liked that scored really well down south, that wouldn't score great up north, and so I kind of threw something else in there, and I finally started getting those appearance scores that tasted about the same, a little bit different taste, but they looked perfect for north and south. So it was all color. So,
yeah.
So.
And you could definitely see it. I mean, when you see your practice steak and then when you see your turn-in steak, you could definitely see the transition in color between the two. And I think that was absolutely amazing at what you did with that. And because of your attention to detail and your keeping up with your scores, you was able to see, hey, when I came down south, I'm getting hammered on appearance. You didn't just go, okay, I'm just going to keep getting hammered on appearance. No, not you.
Yeah.
I'm going to do something to figure out what the heck's causing this. And you figured it out because you said immediately when I did it, my scores skyrocketed on appearance. You went from, you said 46, 47s to 49s and 50s. Huge difference.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
I mean,
Thank
but that is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about that she did. There's also something else that she brought out, and that was in the marinade process. And you know, obviously, everybody knows you're going to use Wicked Pig with Matt. I mean, Matt is he's the developer of that. It is a phenomenal product. But there's a lot of people that has had. How long do you do it? How you know, is it so many minutes per aside? This that, and you said not necessarily. And you showed me the one thing in the class. You was like, do this. You see what I'm talking? And I was like, yes. And you said, now let's check it afterwards. You literally showed me something of how to use the Wicked Pig that I have not seen before. Even Matt didn't show that. And I told Matt, I was talking to him last night. I told him I'm going to buy him a subscription to your class. He might pick up a thing or two. So, but there was some things that you definitely did to show that. And I think that is going to help a lot of people to understand how to use the Wicked Pig a little bit better, get better use out of it. And I think that's going to be something that'll be very beneficial to the people that have struggled getting that Wicked Pig to work right.
Yes, I would agree.
Yeah. Is that something that you kind of just continue to work on your own to figure out? Or what was you doing? Was you playing with that to help your texture scores?
Basically just playing around. I mean, all of us were talking. I mean, there were people that I would work with all the time during competitions, and we all just tried to figure out, like, what was that? What did we want to see that made it the perfect texture, you know, make it just when we were trying to figure out how we could see it. I mean, you know, we couldn't taste the steak like right then and there. We didn't know what was going to happen. So we were just trying to work every competition, trying to figure out something. And finally it started to get down, and we all were like, we think this is it. Like, And sure enough, I mean, we kept doing that for a couple competitions, and it worked. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I know one thing, the texture on that steak had good cut and amazing chew. And I was just like, wow. I mean, it was absolutely great. And so you definitely, I think you even said, and Marissa has not even seen her class yet. So
I love it.
we got it up, and I was like, I got to get you, I got to create, I told her just a minute ago, I said, I got to create your account to get you in so you can see the classes. But I mean, you took a cut of your practice steak, and you was like, man, that's got a really good texture. And I was like, yeah, it does. I was like,
I have literally never tasted one of my steaks with that great a texture until that day, and I was like, dang.
yeah, that steak was rocking. So, and there's already some folks that's done taking your class, and there may be some of them. Like, you've had a lot of folks already take your class. Let's put it that way. And a lot of people, we've already got them already in the Facebook page. You're already getting comments. I think you had your first one just a minute ago. Great class, thoroughly enjoyed it. And I think there's some people that may even be on here. I don't know. I haven't looked through everybody yet. But if you've taken her class and you want to say that you have, and you thought it was a great class as well, certainly please post, because I don't want to be the biased one, but I'm just telling you, there was a lot of things that I did learn in your class that I have not learned from any of the other state cookers. And that's the one thing that I keep telling people. People keep asking me, well, is it all the same? You got all these people. And it's the craziest thing. It's everybody has something that's a little bit different. You did probably 4 or 5 things different that I had never seen before, at least 4 or 5 things. And then John does things, Matt does things different, Terry does things. Everybody has something that's a little bit different. Will's got different things that he does. And it is truly amazing that you think, just right when you think you've got it all, like, okay, there's nothing else. It's like, man, knock me upside the head. I mean, that's completely different. And I hadn't seen or heard that. So, yeah, your overall experience after leaving and doing the class, what did you think?
Oh my gosh, it was so fun. I mean, my mom and I got in the car after we were done, and I was like, there was stuff that I did that I never realized I did in competitions. But since you asked me questions, I was like, I never thought of that being like something like interesting or like cool, like I just never thought about that. So, I got in the car and I was just like talking for hours. I was like, oh my gosh, this. And it was just so fun. And I'm excited to go back and watch it and just trying to figure out, I want to go back to the beginning and, do something new when I cook now, like trying to figure out, like, just follow what I do in like the class,
Right. Yep. Watch your class and then say, how can I tweak it, make it even better?
Yeah.
But that's the thing. To me, it was a phenomenal class, completely different than anybody else's. A lot of things. You even did an incredible fire management on the M16 grill. So all you people out there that cook on an M16, she had Chief in full form, and Chief was rolling and kind of talks about how she sets that grill up. I asked a lot of questions on that fire management. There was a couple of times I was asking so many questions. A couple of times I said it and I said it wrong, but at the end I kind of put pop-up notes in there to correct it. But I was just trying to get so much information about that, because I know fire management is a big deal. And golly, you knocked it out the park on the fire management on that M6. And the same thing with the steak selection. God, I think your steak selection class, it was over 30 minutes long. And you really, I think it was 31 or 32 minutes long.
Oh my God.
And you really went into the detail of, this is why I do this. This is what I'm looking for here. This is the type of steak I look. I thought that part was amazing. It was a very, very detailed class of nitpicking, like everything, and like, as you're coming up to the table, you're already looking and you've got your eye honed in. And I really liked your steak selection class. It was really great. So, all right, let's see. We got Kelly just said, I've taken other classes, Marissa class, tips and tricks that I haven't seen and will use to win. Game changer. Thank you, Kevin.
Awesome.
There you go.
Thank you so much.
I wanted to hear other people say, because to me, I've got a lot of classes that I've watched. All of them are very, very good. But there was just some things that you brought into this that was different than everybody else's. And to me, that was what really made your class stand out. I can see why you had so many top 10 finishes. I can see why you were so consistent. I can see why. Hold that ring up. You got that ring. So, and that's exactly why I thought you was going to beat your brother in the parking lot. Sorry, Matt. So I thought that was absolutely great. So let's see. Sounds like an awesome class by an awesome person. Cook definitely will be my next BBQ Champs purchase. Yeah, Caitlin, I promise you, you won't go wrong. There's just a lot of information to learn, and I tell you what, we had a blast shooting it. I was worried about you being nervous. A lot of times people feel intimidated coming in here, and I just told you it's going to be a walk in the park. I'm going to ask a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And, I think I probably overwhelmed you with some of the questions that I probably asked. But, that's what it's about. It's not every day that you get a world champion, that's going to be in your studio filming.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be able to ask all of those questions. Like, if somebody's here, I know I keep saying it over and over. If somebody's here, I want to dig all that information out of you. Why are you doing that? What's the purpose there? Show me what you're doing here. What's the... And I'll tell you right now, that really helps these cookers, I do believe. And, looking at somebody like Kevin, I mean, he just said it's a game changer. So I've taken 4 other classes and can't wait to add this one soon. So, after all that, we was getting everything done. I told you it's going to probably be a month or so before we got them ready. And you took on off. I know you hadn't been able to get out to cook a whole lot. But you did cook right after that. I think you went down to Liberty, and now you're kind of being able to get back in full force again. But I'm looking forward to that. I think people, when they see you back out cooking, I think once people start taking this class, and not only was the steak class amazing, these Mexican sweet corn chicken street tacos, say that 3 times fast. Yeah. They were absolutely amazing. It was a full-blown SCA ancillary. It would work for any of the other alphabet barbecue organizations as well. And it was really funny. We were wrapping that up, and Shauna Joe Rapolo come walking in the studio right when we was just finishing building the box. And I tasted one, and I was like, oh, my gosh, this is freaking unbelievable. We got Shauna in here. She's on camera tasting it. I tell you what, if you are looking for an ancillary class, anything corn, because corn was the star, right?
Yeah.
I think that was unbelievable. Your presentation, the way that you built that box was phenomenal. It looked amazing. It was a home run, absolutely delicious. So you really have kind of set up everybody. You're getting 2 steak recipes, and you're getting an ancillary that I think will do very, very well. I think you even cooked that that same weekend, right? You came in on like a Thursday, Friday. I think you cooked that on a Sunday, didn't you?
I did. I went to Ozark, and there was tacos, and I cooked tacos, and I walked third with that recipe.
Third place. There you go. It's already proven. So, but I don't know. It's to give you an idea. It's 13 videos between the two. I think it's 6 in the steak, 7 in the barbecue, in the tacos. 4 hours worth of video. It was that detailed. It was by far my longest.
I was like, I couldn't believe it was 4 hours.
Yeah, my longest class. That's one of the things also that took longer because, there's just so much information. I've got to put more pop-up notes and stuff like that. And I tell you what, I'm excited to be able to see you get back out.
Me too.
What's the hindrance? Has it been just school? What's been going on with you since the world champion?
School. I did Worlds, and then I came down to Shreveport. I did Liberty and Ozark, and then after that, it was just so many assignments, so many papers, everything. I had 6 papers due in the last 4 weeks of school. I had finals. I had to dedicate myself to school at that point. I didn't not want to be out there cooking. I really wanted to be out there, especially after Worlds, but it was just the better decision was to focus on school, and I couldn't travel far if I wanted to. So, I got up to Rockford once because it's a 2-hour drive, but I I was really sad not being out there. I would watch like the post come through, and I'd just be like, that's upsetting.
I want to go cook.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know the feeling. Once you're doing it and you're in the groove of doing it all the time, you want to be out there.
Yeah.
I mean, you're like, I want to go cook. So, and I asked you just a minute ago before we came on. I said, it's been a while. Do you remember how? Like, oh my gosh, I hadn't done it. I said, I'll get you a subscription to your videos.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the class tomorrow before I go down to Liberty.
I will hook you up where you can get a refresher course of your own stuff. So. But I don't know. I mean, you're just so smooth and everything you did. Everything flowed so natural. And,
Thank you.
That was the one thing that I noticed. You've got techniques and things that you do that makes your cook really easy and very consistent. And,
and
you're
sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Your questions, I mean, help so much. I mean, the amount of information you pulled out of me, I never realized how much I could actually answer. And there was questions I've never heard before, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, where's this one coming from?
Yeah.
Welcome to BBQ Champs Academy. So, I mean, that's the thing. That's what we try to do. We really try to bring all that information out. Hey, if anybody's got any questions, let me know. Let's see. Papa Joe Hutto, we're getting orders as the show is going. That is great. So,
That's awesome.
And it's just, if you've got questions for Marissa, obviously, let us know. Pop them in. If you've taken the class and you care to share about it, certainly let us know about that as well. And if you thought they were as good as I did, I'd certainly like to hear. Here's the class. Shauna popped up and she said, hey, it's not MRS or MS, it's MISS. She hasn't been married. I was like, man, I never looked at that. So we're going to correct that. It's going to be MISS, Mississippi Grillers. It's a BBQ Champs. You go right to our Grill Master page, but this is your class. And there's that great World Champion trophy that you're hanging on to. I absolutely love it. You'll be able to get these classes once you get them. It's $179. It'll get you all access. You'll have the private Facebook page. You can ask your questions directly. And you can watch them as many times as you like. There's the steak, and there is the Mexican sweet corn chicken street tacos. You can see how beautiful that box is with all the color contrast. Yeah, there you go, Marissa. 31 minutes and 40 seconds on the steak trim. 31 minutes on the marinade. You talk about detail. Almost 20 minutes on the rubs. 21 minutes on the grill, fire management, 27 minutes, detailed instructions on how you go about grilling it. Now, we grilled the two steaks. We grilled the practice steak, and I think that one was the Midwest steak, and then we did the South state, the Texas, Arkansas, Oklahoma state, which was your actual World Championship state.
Yes.
There's almost 28 minutes there, and then boxing it and everything, another 13 minutes. So very, very detailed. 13 videos totaling 4 hours, $179. You get everything, and I hope a lot of people go check it out because it is, to me, a very, very good class. Lots of details. So let's see. Question for you, Marissa. When do you graduate?
I graduate. I'm now a senior, so I'm entering my final year. I can get it done in 4 years. I actually could end that semester, but I know I decided to be crazy, and I'm adding another minor to my college career. So I'll be adding another minor, and I'll be finishing at the end of the year next year. So
okay, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good. That's awesome. Let's see. It's always a pleasure to cook against Marissa. That comes from Mr. Alan Jackson. So
thank you, Alan.
Oh, goodness. Anybody's got any questions? Any questions about anything? Let us know. Certainly appreciate everybody being here. And so what's the now that your class is out, now the cat's out of the bag, now that everybody knows that we've had this going on for a little while, and your classes are selling like absolute crazy, and a lot of good feedback already. What's the plan now? You're out of school for a little while. What's on your plan?
Cooking. I will be in Liberty this weekend. My June. I have 2 July. I'm filled up every weekend. August, I should be at 2. That's when school starts, is August, in middle of August. So that's when it starts to get a little hectic again. But I'm going to try to go to close ones. And I'm going to try to take as much advantage of this summer as possible to get out there and travel again, especially with the class coming out. I know I'd love to get it out and make everyone aware. So I'm excited.
Yep. Getting out, promoting it and stuff. Well, that's good.
Yes.
So you got a pretty full schedule. May is
I do.
Yeah, May fully booked up in June, a lot in July and in August. What do you think now with the new point system? Where I think, what does it take? Only your top 15, 12 or
15.
top 15 scores. What do you think about that?
I know if I can get out there and I can hit like I was when I was first cooking and during 2020, I'm hoping to get back up there and start competing with the best right now. So, there are some people who just hit in every single weekend this year. So, I'm hoping that, I can start consistently walking again and I'll be right there. So
yeah, you start climbing. That's the good thing. You knock out some, you start getting some consistent top 5 calls. It can get you in the top 10 in a hurry.
Yes.
So
yeah.
All right, let's see. Bob wants to know, what's your major?
I am majoring in psychology, and then I am minoring in children and adult family services and in religious studies.
Oh, that's good. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I know another thing you can major in, cooking steak. So.
Thank you.
Oh, goodness gracious. Let's see. Are you ever coming? Are you ever cooking? I don't know. DJ, I don't know what you're trying. So here we go. Let's try this one. Are you ever making your way to the West Coast? You ever cooked on the West Coast?
I have never cooked on the West Coast, but I would love to start getting out in different places. I see some pop up in like Washington and stuff like that. I would love to go out there, and I would love to get to new places just to meet new people and try and see what those cooks are like. So yes, I would love to get out to the West.
Yep. Let's see. Caitlin wants to know, are you coming back to Searcy in June?
Oh, of course. I will definitely be there. I'm so excited for that cook. I've had it on the calendar forever. So
there you go. All right. Let's see. And Riley says that she hopes to see you in Arkansas. So it looks like that's going to be it.
Yes.
Let's see. Dan was on fire tonight. Can't wait to cook with you again, Marissa. So
you too, Tim.
Yeah, that's good. Let's see. Hope to see you in Hudson this weekend. And let's see what else we got. Come on out to Washington, Oregon. Great group out there. That's not too far. Are you? You're based out of Kansas or Kansas City, right?
Yes, I am at Kansas. I'm in Kansas City right now, but flying's not too hard. My mom's a flight attendant, so I could pack up my C4 and I'd be out there in a heartbeat. So
there you go. Oh, goodness gracious. Awesome. See you there. Let's see. Glenn just purchased the class. Can't wait to watch these videos. Thank you, Glenn. I tell you what.
Thank you.
I think you're going to absolutely enjoy them. Let's see. Rory says, come on up. We'll get you set up. That's one of the things that I have noticed with the barbecue community. And I think I saw it with Mark Simmers. He just flies in and somebody's like, we got everything that you need. You just show up with your rubs and you're ready to go. And I'm like, man, how great is that to have a steak cooking family that just says, hey, if you need something, let me know and we'll hook you up. So let's see. What do you do if one steak is thick and the other is more thin? Well,
if one's super thick, if you can and if you're comfortable with it, you could cut it to about the same thickness. Don't get it down too thin, but and then other than that, you just really have to eye it and see how long you think it should be on the grill.
Yeah, making the adjustment on the time.
Yep, exactly.
Oh, goodness gracious. Riley's wanting to try to get down to Searcy.
Yeah, come.
And let's see. All right, so here we go. What is the key to consistency? I'm notorious for an 8th place and 25th place in the same day. Same process, same timeline, etc.
You really have to, when you find something that you like, stick with it. Don't change it. If you're really struggling with something, focus on that first. Ask people around you. Don't be afraid to reach out. People are going to help you all the time. No one's ever not going to help you, especially in the SCA. That's what everyone is there for, is help. We all want to see each other do well. So don't be afraid to ask for help, ask for advice, anything. But I would say stick to what got you there. And if you start and don't change anything, I mean, even the slightest things, like I'll change sometimes and then it really does not work out in the end for me. So
consistent. Yep. And at first, I guess you got to find something that works. So,
yes,
if it's an 8th and then a 25th, and you go to another competition, it's 8th and a 25th, it's good, but it's not great to be consistent. So would you say in a case like that, make small little tweaks to look at your scores and say, okay, something needs to improve? Do you try to, and I think you even said it, we'll give one thing away. You work on one thing at a time, if I recall in that class.
Yes.
I work on one thing at a time till I perfect it. So there you go. I gave you the only bonus tip that you're going to get from Mike Steele from her class. One thing at a time. That's like I said, there were so many incredible things that you brought out.
Thank you.
But I think that's the first thing, Rob, is work on one thing at a time until you get it right. And then hopefully, like Matt just said, different judges, but same day, different palettes,
Exactly.
all of that has to play into all of it. But I do think, and even I see it in my barbecue, because we cook for backyard judges. I mean, people right off the street is who judges our food. They're nothing certified, and you've got to find something that works no matter where you go, no matter who the judges are. I've got to be able to put something out there that's going to consistently get me to the top, and I can use that with my brisket. My brisket is incredibly good. It's just about everywhere I go, it's going to be in the top 10, and a lot of times it's going to be top 5. And there's little tweaks that you have to make and to get it there. And once I got it there, it has been like that now since 2017. I mean, consistent top 10 everywhere I go. Keep working on it. And once you get that flavor profile figured out, I think that helps a lot. And understand, it's a different brisket every time. It's different judges. I mean, these ain't even certified judges. But I always say good barbecue is good barbecue. I think a good steak is just a good steak. And yours was just packed with flavor, but it wasn't nothing that was out of bounds. It was freaking a delicious steak. I hated to have to even give a bite to my film crew, but I gave up a bite or two to Clint. So, but that's just the thing. You've got to find something that's consistent, and I think sometimes you can get too busy changing things. What do you think?
I would definitely agree. At the beginning, I mean, I would change my flavor profile. I would keep track of them, but I would change my flavor profile every single weekend, and it never. I mean, change your flavor profile if it's hurting your scores, but I would only do it once, and then I'd get like a bad score on it and I would immediately change it. But I never gave it time for the judges to actually react to it. I mean, I would have one bad taste score and I would never use it again. But if I went to the next time to another comp, it may have scored well, and then I could have kept working with that. But I mean, once I got that one, and I had the first time I did my flavor profile, I think I got 50s, 51s, and I was like, I can work with that. So I just started tweaking and finally got up there for a while there, I never fell below 50.
In taste.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sarah, now you're kind of like me. That's what I did. When I cook a recipe, people will say, well, cook it, in barbecue, you need to do it 3 times. And, then if it don't do any good, then get rid of it. Not me. I'd roll up to a competition and I don't ever test practice at the house. It doesn't matter what I think. It matters when I put it in front of a judge what they think. And if I've got 40 teams there and I turn in a brisket or a rib and it doesn't even make a top 15 final table, then to me it's no good. I mean, if it did not stand out good enough to make that, then I don't need to use that recipe again, and I'll chunk it. And that's just the way I am. And I've been pretty successful not playing around with trying to do that. Get on to something else, and like you, oh hey, this one hit. That's a 10th place. I can work with that. Let's try that again. And then it may be a 6th place the next go round, and then I can make little tweaks from there. And that's kind of what I did with my brisket. And So it's what you have to do. I think. I think sometimes you can get bogged down. Don't you agree with that?
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right, let's see. Got another one. When you practice, do you always use ribeyes?
I do, just because that's what I'm gonna. I mean, unless stated otherwise, that's what you're gonna use in competitions, and that's what I want to practice with. Because all steaks cook differently, so I just want to make sure I'm practicing with what I'm going to use that weekend.
Okay. So, yeah, I will tell you this. Her cooking process is so stinking good. She said, I'm going to put that steak on. I'm going to flip it, flip it, flip it, flip it. And when it comes off that grill, it's going to be 130 degrees. Okay. She pulled that thing off, and it was 130 degrees. I was like, all right. And she said, it's going to sit here, and it's going to go up. And when it hits my temp, I'm going to stop it, and we may have to do some things to it, and we may not. And you didn't have to that day because it was, good weather. And there's some other things that's going on that, you look at stuff like that, and boom. And then you turn around and you cook the turn-in steak. Same thing, 130, boom, goes to your temperature, and I was just like, man, alive, So you do have that part of it down, and I think that is the most amazing thing, because I remember that temperature was the same exact temperature that you had in a parking lot when you beat your brother at the. I'm gonna keep saying that too. When you beat your brother in the Clash of the Titan, brother versus sister. Mm-hmm. It was that same temperature, because I remember, I think even in the video, and so you're consistent about that, and it's the same every time. And to me, I think that's the key. So looking forward to seeing you in Liberty. Caitlin's like trial and error, 100%. Yep, I agree, 100%. Everything has got to be. You got to just keep practicing. You got to keep trying. You got to keep doing all the things. And you'll find something. I found something early on for me and my brisket that worked. And I stuck with it, and I know what the flavor profile is. And when you can hone in on that, man, it makes a huge, huge, huge difference. So,
yes.
How much better were your cooks after changing to the M16 grill? I think you talked about that.
I was just comfortable with the M16. I mean, I cooked on that thing once, and from there on out, I was like, I'm never going back to anything else. I mean, that grill made me feel comfortable when I was cooking, and it's so easy to handle. I mean, when you watch the fire management part, I mean, it moves like that. I mean, I could tell Mike, I was like, it's gonna be 15 minutes. I'm gonna, I'll do this, this, and this, and he's like, okay, and I did that. He's like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was just that grill, and there were some things that I noticed about it. It was the first time that I ever got to see the M16. I've seen the PKs. I've seen the Hasty Bakes. I do like the Hasty Bake. I think that's a pretty nice grill. Mm-hmm. But that M16, that thing's special. I mean, gaskets all the way around the lid. When you close it, it's completely sealed. It's airtight. It's only going to get air through the intakes and the exhaust coming out. So you've got very good convection air. It's very responsive to the changes that you make on your on your vents. And if I were to get into it after seeing what I've seen, my first number one choice would be an M16, and my second one probably would be like a Hasty Bake. But and I do like the Hasty Bake. You have the ability to lift it up and down. I think that's the Ranger or something that Tim or that John uses, and Will uses that. And I think both of those are really good grills. The PK's, it's a great grill as well, but I just think that there's something unique about that with the way that it comes over. I think you get a lot more convection heat to cook that steak more evenly, and that's just my observation of what I've seen with it. So
I would totally agree.
Yeah. Let's see. Is there a brother versus sister rematch in the future? Nah, Matt don't want none of her. And Matt, don't you go in and say bring it, because she did, and she beat you. So anyway, let's see. Riley says she wants an M16. Clash of the Ouversons was fun to watch. Matt, yes, it was really great to see. And
it was fun.
It was fun to do it. It was spur of the moment, but I tell you what, it was a great little TV series to be shot in a parking lot. It was. And the thing is, y'all had an hour and a half. By the time I said, let's get started, you had to trim the steak, get the grill going, do everything, marinate the whole 9 yards. You had 1.5 hours, and y'all both did it. and your
I never
steaks
thought
turn.
I could do it.
You just rolled. I got this. So
I mean, hour and a half seems like such little time.
yeah, well, hey, it worked.
It
So
did work.
and you had great scores.
Thank
So
you.
oh goodness gracious, I hope so. Yeah, we're still trying to do some more of the Clash of the Titans. That's something it seemed like everybody really loved,
Yeah.
and we had a lot of fun doing it. So oh goodness gracious, I tell you, it's a lot of fun seeing all the different techniques that everybody's doing and using, and the different rubs, and it is truly amazing to see all that and all the different grills. You know, the way that y'all set them
Yeah.
up, the way that you cook. Some are more hot and fast, some are a little bit slow and slow, and there's a lot of stuff that goes on in these classes that you just gotta really think. You know, I mean, you got to put some
Yeah.
thought into it, and to me, that's the biggest thing is you just you got to get dialed in, and I think once you get in that zone, the consistency starts there. It's just chipping them off one at a time, and figuring it out. So
I'm so glad that the steak selection process was 30 minutes, because I mean that is probably the most stressful part for me, is looking at all those steaks, and I mean that's the first step to a good day. So I'm just so glad that has so much detail in it. I
oh
mean,
yeah.
it just makes me so excited.
Yeah. Oh, it was. I think if anybody took these class, you know, that steak selection to me was great. And let me tell you, I mean, we had a whole ribeye, and I said, "What do you want me to cut them? Let's cut them 1.125 inches. That's about what everybody the average. That way, if you got an inch or if you got 1.25 inches, you're right in the middle." And I had taken it out. I started cutting it, got on a perfect 1.125 inches, and then I started early that morning. And Marissa shows up, and I was like, "Man," I said, "Marissa, these steaks are little. I
They
mean, they
were.
are I mean, it had so much on the tail that was fat. I
Yep.
mean, there was hardly nothing on that steak." And I was like, do you? I'll take off right now. I'll go to Sam's. I'll go pick up another ribeye if we have to. We'll get another one." And she was like, "No, I'm going to cook that." And I was like, No, we don't have. She's like, "What am I going to do if I'm in a competition? I can't say no. I'm going home. I got to go get some bigger. I'm leaving and packing up my trailer and taking Chief and Tomahawk with me, and or Arrowhead with me. And Arrowheads are trailer, by the way, and Chiefs are
Yes.
M16. So I know
Yes.
all that. I got inside information on that.
There
So
you go.
and I was just like, she said, "I can't just pack up and leave. I've got to cook what they got, and I'm going to show you how to make that work." And I was like, "Of course you are. You're the world champion. So smoking just like a world champion." And to me, I mean, that to me was amazing. And I don't know I don't remember if that was actually mentioned on the filming. I think there is a section in there that, it was a small ribeye. I mean, it was big, but it just had such a huge tail that was full of fat that we couldn't see until after we got in and started cutting it. But you showed how to make it work. And the one thing that I was really blown away by was that's a smaller steak, and I'm like, she is going to overshoot that temperature, and that thing is going to be stinking well done. And you was like, "I'm making a little adjustment here, and I'm going to do this." And you said it won't matter because the thickness of the steak is the same. It doesn't matter about the diameter of it. I was like, "Well, see, I knew that. I just was making sure you did." So, but that's the thing. I mean, it was just, that's the kind of detail, your stuff. I mean, there was nothing that I couldn't get past you. Because trust me, I really try to. I'm this mad scientist guy that comes up with all this weird stuff and really likes to think outside the box. And as fast as I'm thinking outside the box, you're already outside the box with me and knocking them over the fence. And I'm just like, man, you've got answers. I mean, it's not like you just stumbled across this and got lucky. No, not even close. You know your stuff. And
Thank you.
And understand, these videos are never cut and edited and pasted together. I'm asking her these questions live, and there's no cutting and her have to think about it. I mean, there's a lot of questions, and it's like, dang, that's a lot of questions. Let me think of it, but you give me an answer, So, and to me, that's really shows your talent of you're a very talented cook. I will say that.
Thank you.
So,
thank you very much.
okay. So what's the next, champ? What's your next goal?
Oh shoot. I mean, to be honest, I have no clue. I'm gonna get out there, cook, have some fun. I don't know. I was talking about this with my parents at one point, and I was like, I did this in a year. Like, I never would have came into this and been like, I'm gonna win worlds in 1 year. Like, it was a dream of mine to win worlds, and so when that happened, I thought it was gonna be a couple of years. Like, I was like, I'm gonna do this for a while, have some fun. So I have no clue what exactly I'm gonna do, but I'm definitely gonna ride the wave of being a world champion and just have some fun, meet new people. I'd love to do that. So
yeah, that part right there that's it. You've already done. You got the ring to. You got the ring, I mean, that's it. There's not a whole lot more that you can do after that. Maybe try to get in some top 10. And that's going to be kind of hard for you right now being in school because you can't get out and cook as much as you want. And I think a lot of people understand that. So, you need to get out and they get 15. I'm sure you'd like to at least get 30 competitions in where you can take your best 15 out of 30. And that kind of gives you a chance. But it may be hard for you to get there. So, anyway, let's see. Caitlin says, yep, you got to play the cards you're dealt, roll with the punches. That's it. And she did. Exactly. I mean, she was like, no, we ain't going to get no steak. I'm cooking those. I was like, okay. So, and it was little. That steak was,
oh my gosh.
It was tiny. And I was like, oh, well, it's going to look bad in the box, but it'll be all right. So it wasn't big. It didn't fill the box up. So.
No, it did not.
But anyway, I don't know. I think just, Marissa, I'm very proud of you and watching you last year going through just, I never got a chance to meet you, but I knew you being Matt's sister, you're a special kind. The Ouversons, y'all have definitely are a legacy in the SCA now, with Matt being the 2019 points champion, with you being the 2020 world champion. That'll be a legacy that'll probably go down in SCA history. You was amazing. I was sitting there watching you last year, and I was talking to your brother some. I only chatted with you just, on your Facebook. When you'd come back, I'd comment, way to go, Miss Consistent, keep it going. And I think I finally got to meet you, at the World. And I don't know. I'm very proud of you and what you've accomplished.
Thank you.
You're deserving of it.
Thank you so much.
27 top 10 finishes. I don't know, 4 or 5 first place. I think out of the 27, I think 7 or 8 of them was top 3, maybe 9 of them. It was a lot. It's in the bio. So it was. Let's see what it was. I've got it in your bio. Let's see, 27, 3 first place, 4 second place. No. 4 first place, 3 second place, and 4 third place. So that's 4, 8, 11 of your 27 top 10. 11 of your 27 was first, second, and third. Golly. I mean, that's 45% is in the top 3, cooking against some of the best cookers out there. Man, I tell you what, that alone is awesome. And I don't know, going into it,
thank you.
I thought you was the odds-on favorite to win it. I told Clint and John when we were going, he's like, who you think's going to win this deal? And I was like, well, John's cooking good. Matt's doing really good. Terry's a threat. Shauna's a threat. But I was like, there's a dark horse out there named Marissa Ouverson. And I said, I think that Marissa may surprise some folks and win this deal. And he said, you think so? I said, I think so. I said, she has been cooking lights out everywhere she goes. And I said, there was even a spot in there in the BBQ Champs Clash of the Titans. I was over there talking to Matt, and I said, you better be careful. She just may win this thing this weekend. And
you did.
I did. I said it. I mean, I really thought that she was, and I had said it then. That was on a Friday. And sure enough, 2 days later, you won it.
There it is.
I mean, it was just the consistency of how you did it. And I think a lot of people are proud of you. You was very deserving of it. And Caitlin says, super duper proud of everything you've accomplished, Marissa, with the SCA as well as college. Keep it up, girl. So, 2020 was definitely the year of the females. And
Oh my gosh,
I
yeah.
think you have paved the way for a lot of young female cookers. It's going to be interesting to see Riley continue to get better and continue to improve.
Yeah.
And she's the up and coming young cook as well. And I think you're going to be an inspiration and a role model, like Shauna was. For when everything first started in SCA, and she was kind of the two-time female cooker of the year. Rolling out there doing what she did, inspiration for a lot of the cooks. I know you and her have
Yes.
become very, very good
We
friends,
have.
and it's good to see you two together. Shauna's, y'all are right there, and you've got Sandy and you got Sunny and Caitlin, and gosh, there's so many great female cookers out there, and there's a ton of
Yeah. I
them.
mean, they're just coming
There are
out.
a ton of them that I'm missing, so please forgive me, but that's what it's all about. And
Yes.
I'm sure the boys are getting nervous. And
Yes. I'm glad that the women are coming out. They're
yeah,
showing up. I'm super excited to be like that person that's going to be able to, be the little girl's inspiration. I mean, that just humbles me so much. I mean, that's something I think about all the time is all of those little ones that just get to, I'm like what they're going to look up to, along with, Sandy and Shauna and Sunny and Riley. I mean, it's just so amazing to think about.
yeah, yeah. I mean, the SCA's got a bright future. I think with the new
They
point
do.
system that they've put in place, it's anybody's game now. 15
It is.
cook-offs. You can go out and do pretty well, and you can hit some top finishes really quick. I'll give you an example. There's a guy that has taken some of our barbecue class. He took Lee and Corey's class. Hadn't been cooking a long time. He started off in February. His name is Ricky, and he's by Rick Mail on Facebook. And this guy started off and had a grand champion, a grand champion, a grand champion, had a sixth place finish, had back-to-back grand champions again, and you had two back-to-back reserve grand champions. So 8 competitions, 5 grands, 2 reserves, and a sixth
Wow.
place finish in 8 competitions. He is like number 7 or 8 in the IBCA points. Everybody else has got their 11 and 12 cook-offs. He's only got 7 cook-offs, and he's number 8 in the points. If he gets his 5 and he keeps doing what he's doing, he's gonna be the points champion.
Oh yeah.
So he hadn't cooked with 7 competitions, and to me that is what's going to help this. If y'all can get out and you can get on a little bit of a run, it doesn't take a lot of cooks. You could be
Yeah.
the points champion, and you really
Who
will have earned
knows?
it. It's not just somebody be able to cook 70, 80, 90, 100 cook-off. You earned it. You got 15. You had the best, and I think that's really great. So anyway,
Performing well this year will be a big part of the points champion. So
yeah,
I'm excited.
yeah. Let's see. Carly can't wait till October when she turns 13. Carly and Marissa poster is hanging in the store. Way to be role models. That's awesome.
I do
That's
remember that
awesome.
photo. I love that. It was so
Yeah,
fun.
that's awesome. Well, I tell you what, Marissa, you got any closing statements?
I just want to thank you for this opportunity. I mean, it was so exciting to get that call and having you ask if I wanted a class. I mean, I was just over the moon excited. I mean, Mike actually called me the night I won Worlds. I mean, I was standing on stage and Mike calls me and he's like, "Want a class?" And I was like, "Yes, I
Yes.
do want a class." So, I mean, I just
Yeah.
want to thank you. I mean, it's been
You're
so
welcome.
fun, and everyone's support this year has been absolutely amazing. And to Kid and Brett for building something so amazing, and all of their helpers, all my sponsors. I just
Yep.
want to thank everyone.
Let's talk about your sponsors real quick. Give them a shout out.
I mean, I have to thank Wicked Pig, White Lightning, Papa Joe Grilling Supplies, M Girls, B&B Charcoal.
Yeah. Yeah. I tell you what, it's great to have them behind you. You've got some great companies behind you. You're
I
a
do.
great role model, a great representative of them.
Thank you.
And, it is got a lot of folks that's congratulating you. And there's Mr. Bill Purvis. That guy's an up and comer, only been cooking a couple years as well in barbecue, and he has just been absolutely tearing it up. Bill, congratulations on your calls this weekend.
Congratulations.
You were tearing it up, brother. So, well, Marissa, I tell you what, it was an honor to have you on. Knives. I guess we got one knife that we forgot, that we forget Gunnar Wilhelm.
Gunnar Wilhelm knives.
Yeah. But it was an honor to have you on BBQ Champs. You know, we really do try to bring the best of the best in here. And I definitely think that people's going to take your class and will walk away and go, wow, that is a lot of great information. We've already seen some people talking about that. I was hoping some people would say that as well, because, you know, that's just what I saw, you know, and to me, I'm a pretty good judge of what I'm seeing and hearing in these classes and watching the videos. I was like, this is the real deal stuff. So we appreciate you. We appreciate you being part of the family here at BBQ Champs Academy. We wish you a successful year. Get out there, do what you do, have a lot of fun.
I will.
And we're looking forward, and we're going to get you on the show down the line, let you get a few months under your belt, getting out cooking again, seeing how things are going. And if y'all got any questions, you know, you can always reach out to me or Marissa about the classes, and we'll definitely help you. So appreciate it, Marissa. Thank you for being here. Well, look, we've had a lot of fun tonight, folks. We hope that you'll join John and Ronald tomorrow on Arcasippy Smoke Live, 7:15 pre-show, 7:30 is the main show. That will be tomorrow. They wasn't able to do it last night because of John's mom taking a fall. I think she was at the hospital. I think he was there with her most of the day today. So be able to join them tomorrow. I always like to support them. They're always behind us. And Scott, we appreciate it. I'm glad you like the show. We keep trying to bring this information in. We're going to get some more steak cookers and some barbecue cookers and talk a little bit about both and see if we can get some little nuggets of information. And we have a lot of fun doing this. But the main thing is having a lot of fun with family, friends, and loved ones and getting out. And as we always say, get out there, have a lot of fun, and smoke